Now let's get started with the actual phone call. The last two videos were pretty much mental preparation for what comes next, and that's the phone call. So remember, when you're dialing out and somebody picks up the phone, there's normally the best way to get into it is just understanding that what you want to do is try to create a conversation as quickly as possible. And so my good friend Benji Crooms came up with a great way to address this. In that, when you're first making a call, there's the three questions you want to try to figure out: is what do you have, what do you know, and who have you talked to already? What do you have, what do you know, and who have you talked to already? So your intro script, it can be incredibly basic and simple, but all it's trying to do is get you to that point where you're going to ask the first question about who do you have, and then figuring out what do you know and who have you talked to already. So it can be something as simple as, hey, my name's Eric, and let's take this back. Let's imagine that you're calling off a Facebook lead, right? You can do this with a direct mail lead. You can do this with a telemarketed lead. It doesn't matter. A lead's a lead, a lead. So Facebook lead comes in. So you say, hey, this is Eric. I'm just following up information that you were asking for online. You saw us on Facebook, and I wanted to quickly see what's your most pressing concern with the Medicare program. Okay, so what I did there is incredibly important, because what most people might ask is, how are you doing today? They'll ask a question that can end with a yes or no answer. You see, one of the most important takeaways in sales is, for the most part, the majority of the time you're on the phone, you want to be asking open-ended questions. You don't want to ask close-ended questions, which are questions that could be answered with a yes or no. You don't want to ask those, because they will shut you down and get you off the phone as quickly as possible if you set yourself up for that. Which is why in my intro, I quickly went to asking, what's your most pressing concern with the Medicare program? If there's somebody who already has a supplement, then you can instead ask, oh, and let me just tell you, most of them will actually say, oh, I'm already taken care of. You don't have to worry about me. Oh, great. Who do you have currently for your insurance coverage? Make them say a name. Oh, I have Aetna. Oh, great. Great. Let me ask you, do you have a Medicare supplement or a Medicare Advantage plan? Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Well, do you pay any co-payments when you go see the doctor, or is everything taken care of? Oh, everything's taken care of. Wow, that sounds actually like you might have a Medicare supplement. Let me ask you, do you have a network of doctors you're only allowed to see, or can you pretty much go to any doctor that accepts original Medicare? Oh, I can go anywhere. I've used this, in other states when I go to visit family. Great. It sounds like you do have a Medicare supplement. Now, let me ask you, do you have a deductible? So see what I'm doing there? I'm asking and asking and asking and asking. Galen Hendricks, a good friend of mine, told me you have 30 seconds to keep somebody on the phone for another 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes, that's going to happen again. You'll have 30 more seconds to keep them on the phone for another 5 minutes. The best way to keep somebody on the phone is to keep them talking, not us. We want to get them on a roll. We want to get them answering questions to the point where we can probe a little bit more and then use that knowledge to then help us with our pursuit of having to help them figure out what's the best situation for or the best need for their situation. So that's what I want you to take away from this, that when you first start a phone call, your mentality should be to ask open-ended questions, not close-ended questions, which is why you should keep that in mind. What do you have? What do you know? And who have you spoken with already? Because that way you can easily find out what kind of coverage they have. What do they already know about the Medicare system, if anything? And who may have they already spoken to about stuff, so that you don't necessarily repeat yourself, or you know what you're working against. Okay, take that home with you. That's a big one right there. Ask open-ended questions. They will be the savior of your phone call, because you can get a phone call to keep going and keep going and keep going just by asking more questions. And here's the thing. You can't be afraid to ask these open-ended questions, even in the midst of them trying to shut you down, because many people will try to get off the phone regardless right off the bat. They answer the phone, you say who you are, you ask them a question. Oh, I'm already taken care of. Again, they're trying to brush you off. So if they say they're already taken care of, you say, oh, well, that's great. Let me ask you quickly, which insurance company did you end up choosing? They have to give you an answer. But well, they don't have to. But most of us are psychologically wired that when a question is asked, we answer. And so if you ask that question and say, oh, it's Aetna. Okay, it's Aetna, quick. They'll try to cut it. Oh, great. So you got to be prepared to ask the very next question after they give you the name of the insurance company. Oh, great. Do you have a Medicare Advantage plan or a Medicare supplement? And then that can help lead into more conversation and probing some more. The more you probe, the better you get at this, the more successful you'll be at keeping people on the phone long enough to start building rapport, to start figuring out what they have, what they need, what they're missing, and looking for that pain point. That's going to be another video, looking for the pain point. That's going to be a really, really big thing. So that's all for this video. We'll see you on the next one.